Again, this is office hours for Module 4. And Module 4, if you guys haven't checked out the video,
I was looking at your logos again. I think things definitely do.
you want to jump in, and this is a very important module. We're not going to teach every nut and bolt on this. I will cover some of the key things, but super important on optimizing video. This is one of the big reasons why we are even doing this. Yes, we want to educate. We want to inform as much as possible, maybe even entertain. We'll hot seat a video that Daryl did a nice job on in entertainment mode. But when you're making this stuff, you want to get the videos indexed on search. You want this to have a really long lifespan, a really long shelf life. And the tactics that we teach in Module 4, like our 10-step optimization plan, are huge. This is what's going to allow you to have your videos indexed and found for keywords on Google, obviously, as well as YouTube, and to generate as much traffic as possible. So this is a super important lesson, and we go into detail on all the 10 steps that you need to do. So definitely dig in there. So we will be hot seating a couple of videos. We had 3 action takers for this week to share, so we're pumped about that. We talked about in our assignments for last time, maybe try some Facebook Live. We talked about maybe digging in and shooting a video of a listing. So we've got some of that to share. And we got a good community update, which I absolutely love. And this is a great, video type you can all, weave in and maybe find your own personality there. So our action takers from the week before got their cool bonus campaign, the Come List Me Seller template. We'll have a cool action taker campaign giveaway for you guys here today, and this was something to leverage on Facebook, leverage in your database, and you take these ideas and these campaign bonuses we're sending you guys, and you'll win big time. Question as I change screens there, were you guys seeing the Come List Me Seller template on screen?
Yes.
Perfect. Good. We're locked and loaded then. Awesome. So those were some updates there. Why don't we dig into some content here for you guys too? So the first 5 steps in the. Let me ask this: does anybody have any questions? Perhaps has anybody had a chance to review anything from this particular module they have questions on? Cool. Then I'll keep charging here. So the first 5 steps are basic optimization search tips to get videos found in search, so you can check those out. Getting the right titles, getting the right descriptions, getting the right links, getting backlinks in there, getting the right tags, all that stuff. But now, a couple of key things that most people don't do, and these are key things I want to make a point for you guys. So number 6 is the video thumbnail. So when your videos are found on the search engine results page like Google, if you have some of these custom created thumbnails, it can be huge, because that's the big benefit of having videos found in search results, is it's not just a text listing. You get the biggest images you can on the search engine result pages are from videos. So you can customize these if you want. The way YouTube works by default is it picks 3 random timestamps on the video, one early on, one towards the middle, and one towards the end. And if nothing else, you could pick one of your best listing photos to be the thumbnail. That's what happened in this particular case. But as you get a little bit more creative and want to have particular videos that we call evergreen, videos that are going to last, videos that are maybe more educational videos like some of these are, it would be worthwhile to invest in maybe going on to Fiverr or having a designer, somebody local, just create a really quick custom image that you can put on there, because it really is a huge attention grabber on the Google search engine results page, and it makes helps you generate even more traffic. So custom thumbnails. Calls to action are huge. If you're going through the efforts and putting in the energy and the creativity to make videos and the consistency to be solid with that, and your videos are getting found, you got to have a CTA on there. You got to have a call to action, and YouTube builds in some easy ways to do that. with two resources, one called end screens and the other are cards. And what these are calls to action that'll pop up at the end. In this case of an end screen, it pops up in the last 20 seconds of the video. And it's a call to action that will direct them back to your website or to another video. And super important that we get in the habit of utilizing these. They're easy to do. The module will explain to you the details of exactly how to do that. So end screens work in the last 20 seconds, and you can have as many as 3 different screens on there. And cards are huge too. Now cards, you can see kind of how that is going to work. You can put your own custom graphic in there, your headlines and links, and these can be placed at any point in the timeline, not just limited to the last 20 seconds. And the cool thing about both of these is they're both mobile friendly. They both work on mobile, and you're going to get a huge percentage of your views from mobile devices, and these work beautifully for that. So I want to highlight those 3 action items in Module 4. And hey, Deb, I hear you jumping online here. I hope you're doing good. I'm going to mute you real quick until you got yourself organized. Jump back on anytime. So again, huge, very, very important parts of the plan. These are going to be things that drive traffic and get you the most out of the optimization efforts that you got. So definitely go back and dig into the lesson to get the nuts and bolts. The cool thing about the lessons is, again, your membership site. It's there for you. It's a lifetime membership. As we update and add and include and enhance, that'll all be there. Very, very important to come in and get the lessons here too. So any questions or comments on that?
Nope.
All right. Sounds good. Cool. So it's in the lesson. Those are 3 killer action steps. So let's do this. Let's jump into a couple of hot seats. We got some videos to take a look at. And let me figure out the best one to start with. Let me do this. And yeah, we'll go to, so this is JD, did a great video utilizing just the tools that we've talked about. And he went out and took action. He's using a smartphone, an iPhone 7, and he went out and got the Smooth 3 stabilizer for whatever that was, 120 bucks or so. And he's using one of the little editing softwares that we got to. So he's doing a little bit of post-production outside. Again, this could easily be done with some of the apps that we've discussed as well, but he's doing this with an editing program. So let's take a look. You guys all have the Culver City condo on screen?
Yep.
Awesome. So we'll play this, and maybe I'll turn up the audio. Well, the audio is not critical. It's just a music soundtrack here. So. One thing is the length of this one is a little bit long, but you know the nice thing about that is you can come back and edit even more. You can see how smooth everything is using the stabilizer. This is not high-end, you know, thousands of dollars of equipment. This is $100 in your iPhone. So as we're looking at this, to kind of hot seat a couple things, this first segment is definitely a little bit long. It'd be better if there were shorter edits, but we'll talk about some of the ways to improve this. There was a little transition you did in editing. Free music, by the way. Cool effect walking through the door. pop over and check out the view. Cool. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. So a couple things to reinforce there. Again, that was, you know, it's kind of scary to me how well done that was, you know, with an iPhone. But that's what you're able to do, and you have access to that kind of thing. And, you know, one of the things you want to be looking at with a home tour style of video is that you're really kind of showing, you know, how rooms connect or flow together is one of the key things with this. Your photos are obviously going to be great visuals. If you get in and do a higher end production, you know, a videographer is going to do some, you know, more creative things that are more of an advertising type of thought process. This was, as you can see on screen, over 5 minutes. You'd never want to do, you know, a home tour that's that long. But it's a great first effort, and you can see the quality that was possible there. That's something that each and every one of you guys can do. And where you kind of get a little bit more mastery is as you do some more, you know, you'll find your secrets to edit that. So a couple of best practices, you know, and so the editing software that JD is using is Filmora. And it's a simple, very, very easy to use app on your desktop. So he did do some edits on that. I think it's like a $75 program, and it's really, really easy to use. So something that he could have done and would have made it even easier is to use an app on the phone that we've talked a lot about, and that is the Magisto app, or possibly Videolicious app as well. So great job on that. You can see how smooth everything is and the quality of everything, and allows you to kind of get the, you know, give your viewers a flow of what's possible. Anybody have any questions or thoughts on that?
No, it's good.
Cool.
Long, right?
Yeah. So, you know, I guess I wanted to share, you know, you're looking at probably a 4-second to maybe a 10-second clip. You're just going to be piecing short clips together. So when you're walking through and doing a home tour, you know, you might walk up and approach, you know, it's called just an establishing shot. So what JD did is he kind of walked all the way through that. I mean, there's a good 30 seconds before we even got to the front door. So that's how you're going to compress those things. All you need is really an establishing shot to establish, you know, what we're looking at. An establishing shot of the you know, with your stabilizer, stabilizing shot of the exterior front. And then maybe as you're walking through the gate, you know, that could be a 4 or 5 second clip. And you can accomplish that in a third of the time as it takes to actually walk through step by step by step by step by step. So when you enter into the unit, you've crossed the threshold, and then a 3 or 4 second pan. Then walk to the next area of the property to get the next perspective. Maybe you're shooting back at the door, then the next perspective. You don't have to take every step with the viewer. Does that make sense? But well done, and you just need to get out there and start trying it, and we'll be able to critique that. You're not going to be perfect, but this is a great effort on his first effort out there. And if you're using a couple of the tools, it's going to be easy for you. So let's take a look at another request that we'd made out there, and Daryl did a nice job on a community update. And these are great videos. If you're paying attention to the local events or local blogs in your particular area, you can find these things and highlight them. We'll see how Daryl did a beautiful job with that. You know, he's able to be a little bit more comfortable on screen, you know, early on. He's been doing this or had some experience being on camera a while ago. Now he's just in an action taker mode, which is great. A couple of things we'll highlight here is Daryl knows a little bit about some of the editing software as well. So we're looking at a BombBomb video. So he created the video, actually did it on his phone, and took that video, put it on his computer and used an editing program like Filmora, and then uploaded it to BombBomb. Great best practice. So the BombBomb videos that we've seen so far, that we've hot seated up to this point, have been all just straight out of the smartphone camera directly into BombBomb. So this is taking a little better step, recognizing that, hey, I can, if you're comfortable, you can take that, download it to your computer, put a couple of transitions, which you'll look at, and then simply use BombBomb as a distribution channel. And that's really the best thing that BombBomb does for you. Yes, you can produce video in the app, but what it is a distribution platform. It allows you to blast your sphere of influence. It allows you to blast your email list. It allows you to do some really cool one-on-one communication with potential buyers and sellers. But let's take a look at what Daryl did with the community update here. Let me turn this up a bit. Hold on a second.
Okay, so Halloween. Oh my God.
Can you guys hear that okay?
Yes.
It's a little faint, I'm sure, but here we go. So he's doing an October community update.
Weekend. Halloween's not on the weekend. Don't forget. Friday at the pier. We're on the beach. Halloween costume contest plus an 80s dance party. Saturday, May 19th, the Groovy Little Bar Restaurant. They're having a Halloween party. And Sunday at our own Manhattan Beach Pier, the Skechers peer-to-peer friendship walk. I think you gotta have a friend or bring a friend. Manhattan Beach, Sunday, the great pumpkin race. There's still time to train your pumpkin on the hill. So much fun. And the Halloween with it.
So, I mean, I think he's really doing a great job. He's obviously putting his personality in there. And if you're looking at this going, well, gosh, that's not me, don't worry about it. The personality part of it, you can do some, put your own personality in there. But as you get going, you look at yourself today and go, wow, that's really not me. Heck, 6 months from now, that could definitely be you as you continue to take action. And he was using the editing software on his computer because he was just downloading these images off the internet and weaving them in there, which were great, transition segues. So we'll continue watching.
Village in Redondo Beach. Trick or treat walk. So fun. Kids are there, costumes, candy. You know where to find it. Alcohol, adults only. So many things happening this weekend. I'm Gerald Palmer. I'm standing outside. It's a cool 95 degrees. At the end of October. What? Thank Al Gore for that. It's his fault. Thank you for being here. See you this weekend. Have fun. Stay safe. Quit pointing.
So I thought that was a really, really good effort. And what you simply want to be thinking about doing is, some of the email follow-up that I've delivered to you guys, highlights some of these people that are, doing some things and being consistent. I encourage you to look back here and, get ideas and simply model the ones that are more like, your personality. So this is a great resource. This email thread will just continue to build on as we work through our office hours. Anybody have any thoughts or questions about Daryl's effort there? Was he awesome or what? So a couple of things to look at as far as best practices. You could easily do some of those transitions and things like that in Magisto, which is going to be zero technology on your end. It's just simply having the apps and maybe getting a little bit of a style, but he's got his phone on a tripod. So instead of the stabilizer, it's just on a tripod. So if you don't want to do the stabilizer, everybody should have a tripod at the very minimum. You can see some of mine in the background back there. But he's just talking to his phone on the tripod. And he worked out a little bit of a script, so he was prepared. And for something like this, you want to use the storyboard tool. And again, it doesn't need to be intense. Just give it your 3 or 4 bullet points. And when you start to be able to put your own personality in there, so this would be something I would definitely categorize in the infotainment area, where it's informative. Hey, these are all the things that are going down. And it's entertaining. You put some personality into it, gave it some thought, and very, very stellar effort. So good job. And for any of this stuff, you're going, yeah, you know what? If I'm going to do this, you're talking to yourself. This is your inner dialogue right now. I'd really like to ramp up the production a little bit. Number one, I would say not necessary. Number two, I would say I understand it. And you could easily outsource any of this editing on Fiverr to somebody to do for $5, $10, $15, no problem. But the key for you is to take action, hit record, think about it a little bit. He had some thought in this. You don't have to be this thoughtful to get started. You just need to get started. But this is where you can be if you're a total newbie right now. I mean, you could easily get here after 5 or 6 or 10. I was on a mastermind this morning, and one of the guys that's on this mastermind is a guy named Ray Allen. He's out in I think it's Arkansas. And he is just killing it. And you'll look at the guy. Actually, he's on that list on the Office Hours review email. He's in there. And he shared a little bit of his story. When he got started, he was terrified. He's not like a video-looking guy. He's, a little bit fuller, right? He's a little bit stocky, big beard, bald head, and what all he simply got started doing. And he said his first one, he just took like 10 takes. Next one was like 7 takes. The next one was 5 takes. And over time, over a month or so, he started to get better. And he's just doing market updates. And you'll see that in that thread. And he just kind of shared his story where he got started, and he was terrible. He shared one of them on our mastermind call today. And you would not be impressed. It doesn't start out where Daryl is, and you guys don't need to start there either. But you can easily get there like anything. The first transaction you did as an agent probably wasn't super smooth, and you had lots of help, so you can get that done here. Next hot seat we want to do is we gave an assignment to get going with Facebook Live. And guys, this is probably the absolute easiest way for you to start hitting the record button. And if you haven't done it, it's very, very, very simple. You just hit the live button. I'm joking, right? It's the live button. When you're on Facebook, you're looking at it, hit live, and just get going. But Hind has been doing a great job with this. Just let me know. I'm just double checking, making sure that we're tracking on my screen. You've got the Facebook Live screen up on screen right now?
Yes.
Cool. Good. So Hind has been going at Facebook Live for for quite a while now. And some of the things that she's done, you can definitely check out, where she's at with this. If she's door knocking, she's done a 30-second, thing in the community, feet on the street. She had a partner with her out there knocking on doors in Venice, and it doesn't need to be this long, but this was a great job. We've talked about a video style being expert interviews, and she just simply did a Facebook Live. You guys probably recognize the conference room here for those guys that are on the west side there at Remax. And just brought in someone that was an expert, and they had a chat for 20 minutes or half hour or so. So let's take a quick look and see what she did here.
There it is. Hi everyone, this is Hind with Remax Estate Properties, and today we're doing a live Facebook, but this one is different. I'm not taking you through an open house. I've been doing this to all my friends and family, but we're actually having a nice topic that I feel strongly that it's, a lot of you are gonna really connect with it, and we have the perfect guest for it. I'm introducing my friend and a public speaking and a coach for a lot of business people. His name is Gavin, and I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Thank you very much. Yes, my name is Gavin Mosnia, and I'm a life and a public speaking coach, helping millennials and professionals to really find their authentic voice and to feel more fully expressed and really fulfilled in their communicative abilities.
So Gavin, how would you help someone find their voice? Like, what methods do you use?
Well, I really wanted to understand the motivation. I think that just as a coach in general, the power of what a coach does is not necessarily advising people on what to do with their life, but really.
So obviously I'm not going to go through the entire interview. I just want to share this with you as a best practice that number one, it is super easy to get online and start making video on Facebook Live. I believe that this is going to be probably the most dominant channel going forward here in the next 6 to 12 months. Mark Zuckerberg at Facebook is all in on this, and I think he knows what the heck he's talking about. So again, the best practice here is Hin didn't need to be the talent. She went out and found somebody that was talented that could add value to your audience. So this is a general expert, but hey, we all could be better communicators. And if you have somebody like this in your sphere, bring them on and interview them. It's great. When it relates to experts in real estate, I mean, you could actually, Facebook Live feature, one thing that's going to make this even better is to make it a regular segment. Think of it like a television show, whatever your favorite programming is on television or cable or whatever, comes on a certain day at a certain time. So you could easily do that with, educating your audience about the real estate transaction. So you could even have on your transaction coordinator that could talk about the deal of the week or the deal gone wrong. Everybody's going to learn from their mistakes more than anything else. So you could have that. You could bring on your title rep. I mean, they're always looking to add value to you, and they're experts in very specific things that the average buyer, the average seller doesn't know much about. You know how valuable it is. Let them communicate it for you. You can just simply be the facilitator. And that's all Hind did on this. So it didn't take massive planning. It didn't take a massive script. It didn't take a big storyboard. Just be curious and ask those kinds of questions. So it could be obviously a mortgage professional, huge. Everybody has questions about, the cost of money, the process of acquiring the money, where, things go wrong in that process, what you need to do. You can make top 5 lists, and this is super powerful. So you could, in your schedule, if you wanted it to be super organized on your lunch break, heck, a couple times a week, you can feature a couple different stories. So you heard Hin talk about some of the things that she's doing more often. This interview is a new thing, but Facebook Live from an open house. And I've sent you that in our last update on that email. One of those was an agent that I follow that does a nice job, very consistent. People I follow are the ones that are consistent. And those are the people in your sphere of influence and in your audience are going to follow you because you get consistency in this area. But she's doing a lot of Facebook Lives from an open house. As I mentioned, she did one from just walking this, her neighborhood. And, you could do all kinds of creative real estate stuff, but be regular and be consistent with this. So great job to these guys for taking action. So I'd love to see more of the same. These are really, the best practices. One of the things I want to see for an assignment for our bonuses for this week, everybody needs to jump onto Facebook Live, and we'll have a bonus campaign for all not just the first 2 action takers this time. All the action takers will deliver a cool creative campaign to you for everybody that jumps on Facebook Live and just does something. Find something that you can do. An interview, an open house, a deal of the week. You could just be standing out in front of an awesome listing. Could be one of your own. You could be doing a home tour. Anything to be on Facebook Live. So that is the big assignment for this week, and we'll be able to hot seat and share, what's working and what's not. Anybody have any questions on this Facebook Live topic? I know, Deb, you've had some of your small successes getting started here. We're on Facebook, and I know I don't think it was live Facebook, but does anything jump out at you here? Any thoughts or questions?
Well, can you hear me?
I gotcha.
Okay, yeah, I'm taking great. I'm loving this. I think the interview idea is wonderful. I've got even going to various restaurants and that are hot in the area.
Absolutely.
Like we just went to a restaurant on Abercrombie last night that just opened up, and so maybe talking to the owner of the restaurant, walking the neighborhood I love. I think this is unending. All the interviews that you can have, and the other thing that came up was be consistent.
Yes.
So I think that by, doing this once or twice a week would be fabulous.
And you'll be amazed that, how more comfortable and confident that consistency will bring, just in the matter of 60 days from now. You'll be going, oh my gosh, I felt like such a newbie. And maybe you're not going to be fantastic. Okay, just be okay with that early on. As long as you're authentic, it doesn't need to be absolutely fantastic getting started. But just like anything, I'm teaching my kids lessons all the time about the value of consistency, and anything we start that's not normal is going to be uncomfortable, but it'll get comfortable quickly and easily. So one of the things you want to do too, Deb, as we're having this conversation, definitely dig back into that email thread. And there are some guys that do a great job in the community. Maybe I'll on my follow-up email from this week, I'll put some more kind of community ones that are, into the restaurants and into the entertainment and that kind of thing. Right. You're absolutely right. Having the business of the week kind of idea, and it could be any favorite provider. It could be a restaurant. It could be a dry cleaner. It could be any of the providers that you're using, especially if you live in the community that we're talking about. Twofold. Number one, we want to add value and let people know about the best ways to take care of their daily routines. Number two, obviously you're endearing yourself to the business owners, and in the majority of cases, those guys are probably doing better than anybody else in the community, and they have bigger, nicer homes and maybe need more than one home. So it's a great target market. And, you're, again, just adding value, to your audience. So cool. Love it.
I have a question. Is that more, should we be doing more Facebook Live over the YouTube channel?
So good question. What I would, YouTube is going to be more of a long-term benefit to you, and I strongly, recommend that. But getting started, if that's where you are, you're feeling, I just need to take action. Facebook Live is going to make it much easier just to take action, because it's just simply hitting one button and you get it out there. You're not going to be able to get as good a quality, because it is live. It's impromptu, which isn't bad. It's just over time you're going to look at those and go, you know what, I could get better. But to get started, Facebook Live is by far the easiest.
Okay.
And if you're going to do that in a local provider of some kind, restaurant, service provider, whatever, I would just make it, an interview with the proprietor and say, hey, we just want to let you know one of my favorite restaurants in X. They never let us down. We've always had, incredibly delicious meals and really amazing service. I want to introduce you to the proprietor and just have it be, an interview. I would say for that, to make that interview on Facebook Live even better, I'd recommend having a little bit of hardware. Having a stabilizer, so you could just kind of have it out here and have the interview and have it be, even as high a possible quality for Facebook Live. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and about like 2 or 3 minutes.
For that, I would make it even shorter. Like I said, a brief intro, which is, telling your story, your experience, obviously introducing yourself, your experience, handing it over to the proprietor, and they're not going to be too dynamic typically, on screen. They might be good for 30 seconds. You're probably into, about a minute or so. If you have somebody that's super talkative and wants to talk about all their specials and stuff like that, you can certainly go there. But for that particular style, I would say, a minute plus, probably no more than 2 minutes is going to be where you're going to cap out.
Okay, great.
And phase 2 is going to be one that's going to be more what I would call evergreen, that's going to last longer, that's going to be more of a YouTube focus. And I'll, in the follow-up email today, I'll send you one to somebody that's just actually done a kick-butt job on, they got actually so good at doing the restaurant thing that they started a whole new Facebook page and they started a whole new YouTube channel just about restaurants, because they had kind of done all the restaurants in their local market, and they actually got so darn good at it. It almost looked like a Food Network kind of thing. And they just expanded that to, their whole region, where, maybe you start with, Venice Beach Eats, and you do all the cool restaurants in Venice. You go, gosh, I should just do West Side Eats. Because you get, and like I said, you're not going to be an expert at it right away, but over a year they did such a good job. I mean, he is, I'll send you a link, and they're down in San Diego in East County. So great place to start.
Okay, great.
So the key is, number one, get started. So I love what you're talking about. Number two, stay started. Keep it that simple. So very good. That's where we had our 3 hot seats. Anything else for the good of the order? All right, very good, guys. Appreciate you being here. Next week will be office hours for Module 5, and we'll be talking about promoting video. This is, today and next week will be, where we're really, digging in on and how we make money with this stuff, how to get found on search engines, and how to promote, your best content. And our process, kind of a 3-step, process we want to teach you guys, and we do for our consulting clients, is create great content, advertise great content, and then blast that great content out to, your sphere and farm. So that's where we'll be next week. Take action, shoot something, go do your Facebook Live, and we'll make sure to have some good ones to talk about next week. So have an awesome week.
Thank you.
Thank you.